Hello, welcome to Loot Level Chat, the podcast from Loot Chaplo. I'm leaving that in. I'm not cutting it. With all gas, no brakes. This is Loot Level Chat, the podcast from Loot Level Chill. I'm Mick, and this is, and I'm probably joined by Kieran and Lyle.
Hello. Probably, I think that's true. Yeah, I'm back. It's Pride Month, so they came crawling back.
Yeah,
Lyle's
we
wheeled him out.
He's re-emerged.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I'm here as the token Pride guy for the month. Don't worry, everyone.
Yeah, it's been a long couple of weeks without Lyle, but as he says, it is Pride time, so we have thawed him out. It's like when they get Mariah Carey out at Christmas.
That's me. Yeah. I'm thawed out for Pride, and it's lovely.
We get Lyle out for Pride, shake him off,
yep,
wind him up, and let him go. So.
Yeah, and unfortunately, this isn't a Pride-themed episode, but it will be at some point.
It will be at some point. We will do that at some point. But it's also a month of celebrations, June, because it used to be once upon a time. This was E3 month, wasn't it? Like for years and years and years, this was E3 month, June, and it would come on the first sort of weekend of June, and then everybody would go and announce their game. I'm talking about it like it was decades ago, but I can't remember when the last E3 was. Was it like before COVID? Was it like 2019 or something like that?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So I think it was COVID that sort of killed it. And then I think everyone just went, actually, it was really expensive to do what we were doing. Let's just do this instead. So now you just get everyone just does their summer showcases. And we've just had the Sony one. So we've just had the Sony State of Play has kind of kicked off the big Summer Games Fest because we've got Summer Games Fest coming. Xbox have got theirs coming up, which we'll talk about. We've got Kieran's so beside himself with excitement he's vanished from the pod completely.
Can't even cope with the excitement.
And he's back again.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
There was the excitement. It was just it's overwhelming you. I don't blame you. It's very exciting. But yeah, so we're going to talk about State of Play because that was at time of recording that happened last night. So we're quite fresh on all the trailers, including the long trailers.
Yes,
which we'll have to chat
very,
about.
Very long.
So yeah, we've got some games to reel off. But before we do that, because Lyle was absent, we did have another 10 out of 10 issued. We've had a lot of 10 out of 10s this year. Now,
it's been a good one.
We're either very generous with our scores or it's been a very good year so far. But we had one the other day, and yeah, it was both. And Lyle wasn't around to chat about it. So we've got, which was Mina the Hollower, which I've also played some of.
Yes. And I don't know if it's a 10 out of 10 from Mick, but it is a 10 out of 10 from me. And that's what matters.
That's what matters. Yeah. I didn't dislike it, but I want to hear what Lyle thinks because I said gave it a 10 out of 10. And he's not been about. So, Lyle, why is Mina the Hollower a 10 out of 10 for you?
For me, well,
it's the mouse, isn't it?
It's the mouse, and
you like your mice games.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a good one. So that's the end of this segment, and we'll talk about something else next. I'm not sure what. Okay,
gaze again.
Gaze again. We'll come back to the gaze. No, we'll talk about Mina. I'm sorry to cancel Pride for Mina the Hollower, but that's what's happening now. Yeah, it is. Mina the Hollower is basically why I was so excited for it is, well, one, it's made by Yacht Club Games, who made Shovel Knight, and that's one of those games where it is, what if a game was an old game, but like with modern design? It was like the first game to do a very good throwback pixel art style game that was like, I could imagine playing this on like the NES, but realistically it would be nothing like this because games like this didn't really get made back then, you know? This is sort of the equivalent if it was, I'd say, maybe a Game Boy and more like a Zelda game than what would we call Shovel Knight? Sort of a bit like Mega Man, but without a gun and with a shovel. But yeah, Mina the Hollower, I went in expecting something quite traditional, old school Zelda-y of, you know, top-down perspective, fighting enemies, doing puzzles, stuff like that. But it's a lot more open and it's a lot more jumping around than those things, I would say, traditionally. So like you get through this opening section where, you know, your boat's crash landed on an island, and it's all a very gothic location as well. It's quite like, it's almost more Castlevania-y than Zelda. It's got that sort of that gothic vibe. Everything's a little bit too creepy to be like cute in any way. And you've crash land there, you do this like opening segment, and you're like, oh, this is what the game's going to be like, really fun. And then you get to the main town, and it's sort of like, well, go on then. You can read the newspaper, and it sort of gives you a vague idea of where might be a good place to go next. But you can just not listen to it and just go wherever you want. There's not like, it's not really a game with traditional power-ups or anything like that. You might get stronger by getting different bits of equipment or different sort of like perks essentially and stuff like that. But really, you are set to do whatever you need to do right from the off. Almost more like a modern Zelda, if you will. But let's not talk about those. Definitely not. But yeah, it's just I think in every sort of way I wanted it to be, it felt, you know, as close to perfect as a game can really feel. I love how it controls. I love the burrowing mechanic where you sort of dig into the ground and then pop back up, which you sort of learn quite quickly to use to dodge and weave around enemies, so you don't just get like battered by sort of trying to scooch up close to them to hit them. But you also use it to get around various obstacles. So if you can jump by default, and you'll sort of go like, it's the screen's sort of made of squares, but not really. So you go like one tile, you can jump over one tile basically to like get over a pit. But if you pop out from the ground, you go 2 tiles different. So like it means there's much more maneuvering.
Yeah, I found that out by accident because I'm sure the game doesn't tell you that happens.
There's quite a few things the game doesn't tell you. It's sort of like it designs it where you sort of have to like figure it out for yourself. I'm not certain that if I remember that being the case, because like the start of the game was quite a while ago for me. Like I played it a decent amount pre-release already.
Yeah.
That's something that like the game does that quite a lot, where like it doesn't outright say this is how you get past this bit. There was a bit where I was stuck for about 5 minutes, and I was waiting for Adam to get that far to get stuck to, and he did, and he messaged me, and I tried to lead him down the path a little bit, but got there in the end. But yeah, there's quite a lot of like, well, you're sort of stuck in this bit. You're gonna have to like play about and figure out what you do. You know, like, not that big a deal to like, you know, mess about for a bit. You might lose a bit of health by falling in a pit a few times, but probably be all right. And it lets you sort of play around with the mechanics a bit, because while there's not that much to it, the way these mechanics get used is like really interesting. Like there'll be like, there's one section where you have to get around an area which has a lot of glass floors which you can't bury into, but if you bury against like the side of them, then you can go under the glass floor and you sort of stay stuck there until you pop out the other side. And then there's little areas where you have to like flip switches to make sure that the glass floor's there so you can bury under it, and all these different like ways to navigate situations. And like the different environments all have and different sort of areas where you go to these, the sort of like 6 towers that you basically have to do. The 6, like any game like this, there's an arbitrary number of things that you have to go to do, and it just means go in 6 directions and do a thing. And each of them has a sort of different theme, and each of these themes will have like, you know, a different way that your burrowing powers or your weapons sort of change how, you know, how everything works. You'll maybe have to get past water areas, or there's a farm area where you have to trick enemies into throwing fire at hay bales so you can get past. And it's all those sort of like lots of little creative ideas that all add up to being like, no matter where you go, it'll be like 15 minutes until something new and a bit clever comes along. And then you know,
sounds good.
I mean, you won't like it, but it is good, you know.
It's like, well, if it's like old Zelda, I did like those old games.
Yeah, maybe
not so much now, but
see, I do think that's because I played like I don't know how much of this I played. I think I picked the wrong weapon, which I think you and Adam said afterwards, because there's like 3 weapons, isn't there? At the beginning, there's like twin daggers, there's a hammer and a chain, and I think like the chain has got the reach, and the hammer's powerful, and the daggers are fast. I guess, because I haven't played the other weapons, but I picked the daggers because I was just like, that's my normal go-to for like a Souls-like.
Yeah, I think Adam picked the daggers as well and had a sort of like it doesn't take that long. Like that introductory section I was sort of talking about. After that, you'll sort of be let loose in a town, and in that town you can basically buy the other weapons. Like pretty early on, it will cost you some of your currency, but like the currency is just a thing that you collect all the time. It's a little bit sort of Souls-esque of every enemy dropping an amount of that, and that you can lose it if you die, but you sort of get a few chances. It's like what if in a Souls game it was every 3 deaths that you lost all your souls. So it's not like the end of the world, and it didn't happen that often to me because you can still sort of collect it before you lose it as well. So
there's a lot of accessibility options as well, aren't there? Because I got flattened by the first boss, like this big dude, like, and that's as far as I've got. I haven't been back and tried again because I was playing on deck, and I was just doing it because I was trying to play a bit before we did last week's pod in case you were on it, so I could like have an opinion. And I haven't had a chance to go back. I haven't played anything this week. So it's on the Steam Deck, and I'm not a big fan of the top-down RPG, the old school like Zelda and those sort of things. Like I've never really, I don't know why, I just don't like that.
Yeah,
that setup. So like it took me a while to get the hang of like the platforming felt weird to me because you're sort of jumping over a flat space, and it's like you have to. I'm not used to it, like genuinely not used to it. So, like, and then like I couldn't get my head around the fact that I didn't have a dodge and a block. And then it's like, no, you burrow, and that's how you that's the dodge. That's the combat mechanic that like someone's coming at you or throws something at you, you just burrow, and she burrows really quick. And then you've got a couple of seconds generally before you pop up, and you've got a lot of control over it. But my brain just won't like lock onto that. It's just I just get hit all the time, and then it's like you just got to burrow, and my brain's like I should have a block or a parry or something that is that's not there. So it's like I struggled a little bit to get my bearings with it, but I think I will go back.
Also, if you'd picked the hammer, that does give you a dedicated dodge as well. So you would have even had that. So basically any weapon but the one you picked, you'd have been happy with, you know?
Sounds about right, yeah.
Yeah. But, you know, they're all there pretty quickly. It's another great thing about this game, and a reason that it's not going to be leaving my Steam Deck anytime soon, surprising very few people, is that it has 7 new game pluses. So, like, there's a lot of content there. Like, it took me about 15 hours, I think, to finish the game, and I could have rinsed it a lot more. Like, there's a lot of secrets, there's a lot of hidden little things, there's a lot of character in this city where you'll sort of wander around and chat to people, and you don't get like official quests. There's not like a quest log where it's like, oh, I've got an exclamation mark above my head and I'll tell you to go and beat up 5 bats or whatever. It's like someone just sort of says something that's got sort of a subtle like, why don't you go check out in that direction? Or, oh, I'm not that like there's one guy who wants to try and romance someone, and when you hit him, his nose grows, and that can pop something on another side of the screen if you move him to the right area, and just like little things like that where it's like there's nothing really pressuring you to do it, and what you'll get will probably be some sort of trinket that could give you some maybe, you know, a helpful buff along the way. But there's fucking loads of trinkets, and you can equip like 5 or 6 by the end of the game maximum. So you'll probably find something that'll work for your setup anyway. You can do this game pretty quickly and still be fairly powerful at the end. There's just a lot of extra bits and bobs you can find. But then alongside that, with there being 7 new game pluses, I think as it gets harder, you might maybe need a bit more of like the specialist trinkets for the specialist things, and to do a bit more. I know that one of the new game plus modes randomizes where everything in the game is, so you won't know what like trinkets you get, and you'll probably have to like get lucky and hope you get the right ones that will help things work out and stuff like that.
See, I'd rather, because obviously I play a lot of Souls, we know, and I play and now and then I'll go into a new game plus on a Souls. I don't do the thing where people do like 10 new game plus, and it's like because you're just playing the same thing over and over again but more. But like I like a new game plus when it opens up secrets or different ways of doing it, or there'll be like an item that you have because you finished the game now opens a different path. earlier on. I like the clever stuff they do with New Game Pluses. I think like Animal Well, for example, did like crazy stuff.
Yeah,
a couple of years ago when you finished it, and then like you played it again, but then it opened up and it did it like 3 or 4 times with different playthroughs.
Yeah,
I like that stuff. I like that when it's clever. It has a little bit extra to it.
For sure, yeah. And I mean, it feels like they put that level in. Like, I think they know that there is a certain sort of like lover of retro games who will want to play something like Mina the Hollower to death. Like, this is one of those games that there'll be like a stupid speedrunning community and all these different, like, even stuff down to all the modifiers. Like, there's a lot of the modifiers you can use to make the game harder before you even, get started. But by default, it is already like, it's one of those games where if you've been playing quite difficult games for quite a lot of your life, it will feel right there for you. But for a lot of people who might not be, like, I kind of do. I feel for you, Mick, for example, where you not only were you not used to that perspective and all that for all these different things, but like this isn't jumping in on an easy this sort of game. You know what I mean? This was very much like
I think it's a perspective that threw me, because I'll jump into like a Souls like or whatever,
for sure.
and it Adam gets bombarded with hate tweets when I'm playing a Souls game, but generally speaking, I get through them. But I think with this, it was just the change of perspective that I'm not generally used to. And then add to that it is also designed to be quite challenging. Like, it didn't feel to be like it was particularly punishing. And obviously, they've thrown all those modifiers in there. You can adjust things to make it a little bit smoother or easier going. There's a thing where I noticed one in there that you can turn off so you don't lose. Is it the currency is cheese? I think, isn't it?
No, bones.
Bones. It's bones. That's it. I thought, why isn't it cheese? But it's bones. But and yes, but you can turn off so you don't lose that when you die. And there's like little things that just tweak it in. It's not like you've just got difficulty sliders where you can just turn everything to easy and then you just play with one button. But I like that it's got little things in there that just gives you that. Like, it gives you a bit of an edge,
for sure. Yeah,
especially while you find your feet.
Yeah, it's nice that this is not following the sort of we are a retro difficult game model of we will be like that in every way, and we've got enough fun.
Yeah, we've got enough of those. I think everybody, like you said, Shovel Knight was one of the first, but since then, like it's become that thing. And I switched. That's a turn off. That's like when I open PR email and the first line is, what do they call it? There's a term they use for it now. They won't say retro. They'll say retro themed, or it will say like based on the pixel art games of what. And what they really mean is they've just made a game that is like it's pixel. It's going to be pixelated, and it's probably going to be ridiculously hard because there's this weird badge of honor that gamers over a certain age have, that like we had Battletoads. It's like like during the war, it's like that.
It is the nerd version of during the war.
Yeah, it's the nerd version of back in my day. We didn't have
we used to have ration books. And pixel art games.
Games used to give you a code when you finished a level, and if you wanted to go back to that level, you had to go in and put a code in. Oh, I lost a thumb, and it's like it wasn't that bad. But there's this thing, and it's like it's how it is, isn't it? And people jump on these trends, and then.
Yeah, I'm very much glad that is not the way that Mina went, because
then I wouldn't. Sorry,
I was just going to say then I wouldn't have given it a 10. Probably.
No, yeah, but it's interesting that everybody. This is partly why this game in particular was so anticipated, because it was Yacht Club, and everybody was like, well, they did like Shovel Knight was a big deal. And then it was like it didn't even necessarily spawn a genre, but it spawned a way of making games in a way that like woke people up to this, this whole retro theme. Like, you can make a game that looks retro, and like we have loads of it now. Like, even things like recently with like stuff like Replaced and stuff, and like this pixel art has become a thing where it's like, well, we've got the technology now to do whatever with graphics, but we're going to give you pixel art, not because it's easy anymore, but because it evokes something from everybody's got this shared nostalgia, whether they were there or not. And it evokes that stuff now. But so I'm glad it's good.
Yeah.
Really glad
we'll
it's good.
probably talk about it later on in the year. Because,
I'm sure it will come up at some point. At some point. Speaking about stuff that was good, the Sony State of Play was, I think, very good. I tend to never really think they're bad. Like these showcases come on, and yeah, they don't always, like we had Warhammer Skulls sort of this, and you guys are probably not as interested, obviously, in Warhammer Skulls as I am, but they had Warhammer Skulls a couple of weeks ago, and usually, like last year's Warhammer Skulls was like new game announcement, new game announcement, new game announcement. It was like bombarded you with this stuff, and like most of those games aren't out yet. So this year's Skulls was just like new game update, and it's like, yeah. And all we really got was a bunch of like release dates and some updates and some new trailers. I think they announced like 1 or 2 new games, which I'm interested in, like a side-scrolling thing, a Skaven thing, and stuff like that. But it was like, I didn't watch it and think, well, that was disappointing. I just come out of it and think, you know, like I never think these things are bad. I like game trailers and I like hype, and I like generally speaking, I see like the discourse after pretty much every game showcase through, doesn't matter who it's from, and like half the internet hates it, and it's all woke and cucked and fucking whatever you want. But I thought it was a pretty good show. I thought it wasn't bad. I know there weren't that many actual Sony exclusives, because considering it was a Sony sort of showcase, because like I don't think Tomb Raider is not going to be Sony exclusive. And
I thought there was a few, because you had what was it? There was Wolverine, there was Marvel Token.
Oh yeah.
Until Dawn 2.
Until Dawn 2. I forgot about that. God of Woke, that was there, yeah. So.
Yeah, it's all 20 minutes of it.
But we'll go through. I'm sure Kieran's got some form of list, because he usually comes to these things prepared. I don't even bother preparing anymore, because I just figure nice. Kieran's got it covered.
Well, yeah, I come with the list, but I don't come with the solid internet connection, so who knows what's going to happen.
We'll make up the list then if it comes out. We'll talk about Uncharted 5 and Ghost of random Japanese island name.
There was a lot. Like I wrote up the thing for the website, and I was doing it as it was going on, and at certain points there was just so much going on there, it was difficult to keep up with it all. Well,
luckily Sony Santa Monica gave you a chance at the end.
Well, yeah.
To finish.
Yeah, I thought the start of the show was probably one of the highlights for me was Wolverine.
I liked Wolverine.
That was so good.
Yeah, there's been some silly discourse floating about already, because so my critical eye immediately did notice that his suit regenerated, and I was kind of thinking, you can't give him an indestructible suit, although I don't know why not. And then, because these bad guys are like blowing chunks out of him. Like, there's literally a point where there's like he turns around during the trailer and his back is just hollow. They've just shot him with like shotguns, like from behind, over and over again. And then he's there's no dismemberment, which was another complaint, but he's pretty brutal. It's quite a visceral combat system.
Brutal, yeah. There was a lot of claws through bits of the body coming out of other bits. And...
It's got that. I mean, he impales a guy on a forklift at one point, which I don't feel like that would be easy to do. And but it's it's got this stuff that's really, really brutal and really violent and really bloody. And then he kills this guy and he stands up and he's caked in blood. But then by the time he's turned around, it's all just faded away and his suit's just yellow again. And I thought maybe you could tone that down a bit, because I remember when Dragon Age Origins came out, and that you'd get bloody in a fight, then you'd be bloody for the next 5 cutscenes. It takes so long for the blood to wash off. And Crimson Desert did the same thing, where you'd get bloody, and sometimes the game would bug out, and you would just be bloody until you restarted the game. Didn't matter what you did or where you went.
How many showers?
Yeah, so I did notice that happened, and it was a little bit like my mind. I saw it, and it was immediately a little bit not off-putting, but it was
you notice it, don't you?
Yeah, and then but also, who gives a fuck?
Yeah,
there was a lot video game.
That game felt a bit. Who gives a fuck? They'd this is a fucking Wolverine game. It's got gore. It just looks like. It looks like in the most positive way possible, an Xbox 360 action game where it's just like stupid fun and will really work, you know?
And I think it's a weird thing to complain when your game doesn't have dismemberment. Like, that's such a weird thing to say, oh, this game's no good. It doesn't have actual limbs being lopped off. And like where, draw the line somewhere, guys. Like, how you like, oh, his arm would have come off if yeah, but also you can't stab somebody that many times with like 15-inch claws and they not die instantly. Like, you know, I saw someone had commented like, I swear people just want Wolverine to be buck-ass naked after every fight, because he would be walking around just with his pants shredded. You know, how many times did Hulk manage to rip all of his clothes except the waistband of his trousers? Just nobody cared. Such a silly thing to complain about.
Yeah, it is in fact a comic book character, so like it's not that big a deal, is it?
But they snuck some good reveals into that trailer, because I haven't followed that much of it beyond like, I knew Liam McIntyre was doing the voice because I like Liam McIntyre.
He was great
a lot. He sounds really, really good.
Yeah.
But I noticed, like, I didn't expect to see Jean Grey in the trailer. I didn't also expect her to be doing as much as she did. Like, the team up stuff looks so cool. Like, you know, some of those like tag team moves where it looks like you press like the two triggers or the two bumpers, and he does something. I don't know whether he's spending it as like a little bar of yellow, a little block of yellow bars at the top. I don't know whether you're spending those and building them up, because it's difficult to know in a showcase because everything's a little bit curated. Like, they let him get his ass kicked so you can see him doing the regen, which I found really good. I don't know how, like, it's Wolverine, so he shouldn't really be able to lose.
They've said about this, he can die, but his healing factor is based on like how frenetic he's being in combat. So if you keep fighting and you keep the pressure on the enemies, then you shouldn't die.
Yeah.
I think it's quite a cool way of doing it.
I could see his health going back up during fights, and then obviously when that mini boss like beat him down, there was like a a quick time hit square. And he like did the punch and got back up, and he was angry, and then he annihilated the guy in a couple of seconds. But there was a couple of little quick shots of, like, there was a shot of Deadpool. I didn't know Deadpool was in it, but I mean, obviously he was going to be. And it's like a 2-second shot of just them two fighting. So whether Deadpool is a villain in it or if he's just doing the Deadpool thing. But yeah, I thought it was good. It was a good gameplay trailer, and it was a good start to the show.
Really good start, yeah.
It was a real, like, even for someone who's not really like big bombastic action game isn't necessarily the first thing that makes me think like, oh, this is going to be the perfect game for me. It is like undeniably the most like frenetic of show openers that you could get, that just was like, right, we're fucking starting. There it is.
And you can tell it's going to be cathartic. Like, the movement looked good. Like it looked like, I know it, like he looked heavy. I know Wolverine is like unnaturally fast in the comics and like in the cartoons and stuff. So I feel like they've added weight to the character to differentiate from like Spider-Man. Because Spider-Man in the Insomniac games is like shit off a shovel. It's just like boom, 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 boom. He's everywhere at once. And Wolverine is bigger and he's bulkier and like to get the power behind it. I suppose that's why they've sort of slowed it down and added a little bit of like a bit of a lower center of gravity. So it looks more meaty. But then you've also got people who are like comic book purists going, well, actually Wolverine should be faster than that because it's I've seen people like saying about how this doesn't respect the X-Men lore. It's like, who cares? It's a comic book. They don't respect the fucking law. They constantly change things. What difference does it make? Fox didn't.
Insomniac one. Yeah, exactly.
Fox did. Video game. Yeah, comic books don't respect their own law. They're constantly retconning everything, so it doesn't matter. It looks like it's going to be fun. And the people who are going to, and most of the people, like people who come to these, who tune in to watch these showcases, they've either gone there to troll, in which case nobody cares, or they're actually fans and they're just complaining because it's fun to complain on the internet, and they're still going to buy it. Like, it's going to sell like hotcakes. It's already on pre-order. Sony love to announce their pre-order figures, so they'll be up in a couple of weeks, and you'll see. And the majority of people who have pre-ordered it will be the people that are in there going, no, this looks shit. Pre-order immediately. So it's like, and that's going to be a theme for most of the games this evening. But what came after Wolverine?
Marvel Tokon.
Oh, that was
anyone had any thoughts on that?
So that is not me all day long. Like, I'm not. It's a fighting game, right? It's a one-on-one.
Yeah, it's one of those like 2D fighting games,
and I think it's got that sort of like tagging in different teammate type things going on.
I thought it was it was a lot of like sound bites and like Mortal Kombat-y or Street Fighter-y quips and.
Yeah, for sure. It had everyone interacting with each other in like, I want to kill Spider-Man now. No, I do because of comic book reasons. Yeah. Everyone just tagging in and being like, yeah, I hate him too, actually. Me too. I'm the green pop
as well.
And it looks a bit niche. Like, even though it's
very nice looking.
Yeah, even though it's Marvel.
Really nice looking.
It is really good looking.
And Arc System Works don't really make bad fighting games, in my experience.
Are they the Guilty Gear lads?
Yeah, I think so.
Or King of Fighters, one of the two.
Yeah. They're one of those, like, all the ones that look really, really pretty, they're the ones that they make. They're the ones that, like, ridiculous, like an actual, like, episode of a modern anime, but a fighting game.
Yeah. This is going to, I mean, it'll do what it does. It's not going to set the world on fire, but people who like that are going to lap it up.
Yes. It'll probably set the world of that specific type of fan on fire quite a lot. And, you know, I've been known to like a fighting game. I'll play it if it comes my way. I'm sure it will be very proficient. There's been a lot of good, like, superhero fighting games are kind of one of the things that I feel like that genre does the best. Like, you've got like your Marvel versus Capcoms, you've got your Injustice, you know, like it lends itself well to that, so I'm sure it'll be good.
Yeah.
What we got next? Rayman Legends Retold.
Oh, that one. I say I'm excited for it. I will play it. I like Rayman.
Okay.
Is that my mic doing that again?
I don't know. Something's doing it.
It's not mine. I've muted it. I don't know what that is.
Hang on. If I mute, it stopped as I did it.
Oh, maybe it was just a bit of interference. Maybe it's aliens.
Probably.
Yeah, Rayman. I like Rayman. So which was the music, Rayman? Was that Origins?
This one's got the Black Betty.
This one does have but I don't know if this is like both of the UbiArt 2D Rayman games, or if this. I mean, it said Legends, and that's the second one.
Yeah,
but it's one of those where I'm not 100% certain where they're like cutting off. It is both.
I've just looked at. We've got a story on the site as well about it. So it's both of them released together.
Okay.
One a Redux and the other a ground up remake of Rayman Legends.
Okay.
Because I like Rayman to an extent, but it was the music levels in that particular game. I think there was only a few of them as well, because it was one of those things that I was like, make an entire game of this, will you? Don't give me like a couple of what are essentially bonus levels that were fantastic, like absolute, like such good thing. I played those same levels over and over again. Like I just would just play those levels, and I just wanted them to do a whole game of it. I know Adam's a big fan of Rayman. Like, he's quite excited for this.
Yeah,
and Steve
as well. For sure.
Oh, and Steve, because they're like their platformers. But yeah, again,
I think I only played one of the two, so this is an excuse to actually play the other. You know, I'm sure it'll be really good. It was. I remember it was good at the time. Everyone fucking loves those games and has wanted them to make another one forever. So maybe this is leading that way.
I imagine it is. It's Ubisoft, isn't it? This is one of their things.
Yeah.
They'll release a game. They'll do a ground up remake, and then they'll go, oh, by the way, this is coming next year, and it's like, and that's good. Rayman's cool.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Anyway, I'm well up for that.
Then we had Bancho the Chef, which I believe you were very excited for, Lyle.
Oh yeah, the prequel to Dave the Diver, where it's about the chef going around Asia and learning new cooking styles. It just looked like such a fucking Lyle game, such a
Cool.
stupid like it's about cooking and doing cozy tasks and like just looks stylish as all hell. And yeah, I just thought it looked like it was very much not the same as the rest of the showcase, and that's pretty much why I liked it. And
Dave the Diver was that game I gave, so I dropped off Dave the Diver eventually because it just kept like I liked it. Like it's a clever game in that it's just every time you go anywhere in that game, like you do a level and then you go back to the restaurant and you do the restaurant thing, and then the next level is something completely different from what you did the day before, and there's so many mechanics, and
there
like
was a lot to that game.
Like, and like the diving is such a small part, and then like it opens up into like this fucking crazy like Lovecraftian nonsense, and like really but it was one of those games that I was just it kind of exhausted me. Like I got to a certain point of it where I was just like, yeah, I think I'm done now, lads. You know how to do every mechanic, but I need more of a through line somewhere. So I sort of, but this is obviously going to be the same, isn't it? Like everywhere he goes to learn a new recipe, there's going to be
something going on. You'd think so, yeah. It seems to, but like based on the trailer and like what they've shown on like the Steam page and stuff for this game now it's announced, it certainly looks like it has a bit more of like maybe a coziness and maybe a like it maybe it won't ask as much of you to just keep learning new things forever. But I mean, I have no idea. They didn't show that much of it. It just looked very cool and was, related to a game I really like, and that's getting DLC very soon, I think.
Of course it is, yeah. Didn't they? Yeah,
the jungle one.
Why not?
Yeah, obviously. Jungle suit.
Then we had Kimuri Hunt the Unseen, which is like the one where you're a yokai hunter and you catch them and then wear them as like cool streetwear.
Yeah,
this is the idea.
This looks real. This was the like I'd watched Wolverine, and then this one perked me up. This one was like, oh, this looks interesting. I couldn't tell what it was called. I don't think they told you what it was called.
I struggled with that, and I missed the subtitle off. I only saw the actual main part.
I thought it was called Unseen. I thought it was called Unseen, which I thought that's a cool title. And then it was like Kimura, and then they had like the last came on afterwards, and to be honest, I skipped whatever she was fucking babbling on about, to be honest. But the trailer looked really cool, looked really interesting.
Yeah, I thought I don't know if it's my type of game, but I liked what they were showing. I liked the music. I thought
the sense of scale looked good. The style and the speed of the game looked really interesting. Like running up buildings and all that sort of stuff. But the art style looks great. I like the music in the trailer. It kind of reminded me a little bit of Zenless Zone Zero, and not I kind of got that necessarily that kind of game, but that like just bonkers, over the top, like really like frenetic. Like we've used frenetic for Wolverine, but yeah, that like really like active, like game
100%.
design looked really fun.
It's one where I want to see more of it because I'm like what I saw was interesting.
Yeah, definitely. It made me think of like when people play Dark Souls, but they call it Fashion Souls, and they'll spend ages like typing up the character and then going off. This is got the co-op as well.
That's it looks like everything.
That. And then we got a Mick game next with Tomb Raider: Legacy of Atlantis.
Yeah, that might have been that might have been the highlight for me. Like, to be honest, because I knew it was coming. We already knew that this was coming. We'd already seen this. Laura. The internet had already lost its shit because she looked slightly older than fucking 18 or I don't know.
Great, good stuff.
Just whatever the internet complained about when this was originally shown, they've already had a moan. But I thought it looked mentally good, like really, really like. Because it's a remake of like the first Tomb Raider. Because there's another Tomb Raider as well, isn't there? There's two that have been announced.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's a new game, and then there's this remake.
This one, which is like the third time they've remade the first game or whatever.
Yeah.
But I like the look. So I loved. This is a weird one. Technically speaking, original Tomb Raider, 96 Tomb Raider, is one of my favorite games of all time.
Okay.
It has not aged well. So of its time, and it still holds that place. And I played it. Fuck knows how many times I played that game all the way through. Like I loved it. Played it all the time. I played the remaster last year, and even with like tighter controls and the better looking graphics, it's a really hard game to play and enjoy now for me. Like it's of its time, right?
Yeah.
And it's the same with like
on GoldenEye and shit like that. Like they're not modern now.
No, it's really hard to like ratify that with yourself, because it's like, I love this and now I don't like this at all. Like it feels, because it feels wrong. So I'm looking forward to it, because I remember the storyline of the original Tomb Raider. I remember like the villain. There's sound bites from that game that just live in my head, and every now and again, like they're just like, it's that sort of had that sort of impact. And I just think it looks really good. Like she's fucking running through the jungle, being chased by a T-Rex. She's shooting fucking endangered animals with her pistols, and all the things that Lara Croft enjoys doing in her spare time.
Yeah, her standard hobbies. I did always like that about original Tomb Raider, because I think the only Tomb Raider game I've ever played like all the way through was the first like reboot of the series, the just Tomb Raider in like 2013 or whatever, that sort of time. But like I always liked looking back at old Tomb Raider and being like, "There's fucking dinosaurs in this. What's going on?"
They didn't used to care. It was so 90s. But like I just love Tomb Raider. I love the character. I love the world. I've always have. Like I don't think I've played a Tomb Raider game that I haven't liked. Even like the Tomb Raider Go, and the isometric ones they did. They did 2 of those that were really good. Yeah, any Tomb Raider game at launch I've loved. Even like the last trilogy that they did. Shadow wasn't the best. But a bit of buzz of feedback again. Shadow wasn't the best, but I still really enjoyed it. So that for me, and it's February, and it'll probably get delayed again, because most things get like February's like, we'll chuck it in February and then we'll chuck it in April,
just in case. Yeah.
But it's, it's good to have that. We know we've got a window for it. It's coming, and I'm excited about that.
I've not played the original one. Does she go to Atlantis then? Like, is that what actually happens?
It's about the Atlanteans.
Oh.
So, like, the bad guy, if I recall, the bad guy is an Atlantean.
Oh.
Jacqueline Nettler. That's her. Yeah. So
sounds real. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then continuing the dino kick was The Lost Wild, which I thought looked really, really good.
So this is weird, right? Because I just thought this is a Jurassic Park game, right? Because it frames it like it's a kid and his dad coming home from somewhere, and the kid's going, "Oh, the Allosaurus was my favorite," and I thought, "Oh, they've just been to Jurassic Park. This is where, like." This is what it is. It's like a Jurassic Park game.
No, they've been somewhere else, mate.
Yeah, but I thought they've been to Jurassic Park. They've been to the actual park itself, and now something's gone wrong, and it's going to be about this. And then the kid and the dad aren't even in the rest of the trailer. I thought like the dad's going to be looking for his kid, but then you're like a woman. You're like this. The protagonist seems to be this woman. I don't know. It was weird. I found that weird. I found that one to be weird. Like a bit of an anonymous. Like it looks fun. Like it does look fun. It looks interesting, and dinosaurs are still scary. And I still want a Dino Crisis. And like we had a Dino horror this year, I think, like an indie horror that was about dinosaurs.
I think so.
I like it when dinosaurs are supposed to be scary, but also I was like, it just looks weird, and like the title just feels like something that's going to just slide off my brain over and over.
That's true, yes.
It's quite a long title, actually. It's the I didn't realize. I thought this was just the name of the trailer, but looking at it, I think it might be the name of the game. The Lost Wild, True Fear is Primal.
Yeah, see, that's too much. Just call it. I guess there's probably 8 games called Primal, but like, just give us something that's like snappy and short. Because it's like the Lost Wilds as well. What does that even mean? It means
very close to the Lost World, isn't it?
You couldn't use the Lost World because it's been used. you know, I don't know. I feel like somebody had a concept for a Jurassic Park game and then just made this instead because they didn't have access to a license. I don't want to shit on it because it did look like it looks glossy and it looked scary.
It looks like Annapurna is doing Jurassic Park, which I guess what it is.
Which, you know, I'm here for it.
And we'll take that. And I mean, you know, if Jurassic Park are the only way we're allowed to have, like, it shouldn't be the only way we're allowed to have dinosaur games. We'll take any park that you want to have that people go to full of dinosaurs.
Christ, Capcom revealed a dinosaur game a few years ago, and everyone thought it might be Dino Crisis, and then it was fucking X Primal. And it's like, guys, you own Dino Crisis. You just remade like 3 Resident Evil games. Fucking, what are you doing? Do you know what I mean?
I forgot about that. That was so funny.
Give us Dino Crisis. It's just mad.
Then we got like a teaser trailer for another like deep dive later in the year for Phantom Blade Zero.
Yeah,
which
it was like
a bit of a weird thing to do.
But... Zero, you'll get to find out more about that in summer.
Well, that has had a release date for a long time, which I believe will slip. Because it is that I'm sure it had a release date announced for September something, like the 25th or something like that, ages ago. September 9th rings a bell. That'll slip. If Sony are planning to release that up to now in September, they'll move that out of the way of Wolverine, I think. If anything was going to slip from these release dates, it's going to be that one. But I really want this. I've been waiting for this for ages. Like, it was announced, it feels like moons and moons ago. But it looks really good. It's like a Souls-like, but it's really fast. Like, it's really stylized. It's slick. It's kind of one of those games that has looked slightly rougher every time they reveal new footage. So I feel like the original release was a little bit bullshit. Like, the original reveal trailer was a bit bullshotty. It looked too good and too fast, and the stuff that you seem to be able to do in control of the character was impossible. And like, every time I've seen new footage of this game and they've released a new deep dive or a new look at it, it's looked just a little bit less like they did like Spider-Man and we took reflections out of the puddles, lads. It's that kind of feeling I've got about this. I don't think it's going to be what they originally hyped it up to be. And I don't know, so I need to ask this because I haven't watched the trailer again since. Did that trailer seem oddly sped up, or was that my internet catching up to something? Because I was watching it and I was like, why does this look like they've just accelerated the fight scenes? It looked weirdly,
it was very
fast. And it didn't look real. It didn't look right. It looked like they just
pressed 1.5 speed and let it go.
And I wondered why they would do that, whether they were trying to make it look quicker, whether they were trying to hide the fact that maybe the frame rate limps like fuck at the moment, or I don't know. It was just a weird way of presenting that game. And it's still the thing about this game is it's still something that we don't know much about. Like, we know it's a combat game. We know it's we presume it's Souls-like. It always looks really dark, like sometimes too dark to really see what's actually what you're supposed to be getting hyped about. So I don't know. I think I'm looking forward to seeing more about it. But I actually came away feeling less excited about this than I was when I went into the showcase. So that's a bit disappointing.
That is a bit disappointing. I have this firmly filed under Mick will tell me if it's good. So it's a hard one for me to really change my hype level on, because I'm like, well, Mick will let me know. Like, Mick's either gonna think this is amazing or like be utterly miserable about how it is not amazing, and we'll find out,
Next was June Awakening getting a single player mode and a PS5 release. I've not played it, but it does actually look quite cool, to be fair.
I've played it. I reviewed it, the MMO side of it when it came out. It's really like MMOs are a bit weird for me. Like, new MMOs in particular are very. I mean, they're like any live service now, where it's like this has got this. So Dune Awakening has survived based on the IP and sort of their approach to the MMO, because it's basically a survival game. And they could have not bothered with the MMO side of it. When I reviewed it, I was like, it didn't, because it's like, it's a big world. And when I was playing it, like, there was a lot of the time that I was playing where I never saw anybody else. I would see like remnants of them, or I would see the bases they'd built and abandoned, or this sort of thing. And the most unique and interesting thing about it was just the worms, which is the most unique and interesting thing about Dune anyway. Was the fucking giant worms. And because there's whole bits where it's like you're running out of water, you're running out of resources here, you've got to press on to the next bit, but that means crossing this great big open patch of desert, and you would constantly be seeing the sand moving in the distance because these worms would just, and like you would step on the ground and then it would start moving towards you, and it was like the tension of just trying to cross the desert, because you'd be like, move a little bit and then stay still, and it would, like, this massive thing under the sand would go past you where it like was looking for you, and then you go a bit more, and like that was the most exciting bit, and the rest of it was just a basic, like, it's got good build mechanics. Like, it's a bit like Enshrouded, where the build mechanics are very easy. It's like everything's sort of snap on. It's quite easy to like research stuff and create stuff, but it never needed like the MMO side of it. It was just one of those things where I was just like, this doesn't need to be an MMO. And people weren't playing it as an MMO. That's why they're doing this single player update, because people were like, there were like clans or whatever, and people were banding together and doing stuff, but so many people were just like, there's enough game here and enough of a world and enough stuff. I don't need anybody else. I just want to play it on my own. And it's telling that not many, well, how many MMOs do you know that have gone with, we're adding a single player mode to this, because it doesn't, it's like almost, really it's almost unprecedented. And it has really been floundering. Like, it's been struggling to like retain a player count for a while. But I'm glad that they're doing this. I'm glad they're doing a big update. I'm glad I'll play the single player version of this, because as a survival game, it's really good. Like, it's really great. Like, the whole, you need water to survive, but then water's also a currency. But like, you can pee in a bag, and like then you can clean the pee, or like blood. Sorry, it's blood. For some reason you can't do the pee, but blood you can. So like you can like drain.
That makes less sense.
Yeah, you can like drain the blood
weird,
out of things and then purify it. I mean, I would rather drink purified pee than purified blood, I think. I'm not sure how you purify blood into water, but they do it in this. And
I've tried, but you know.
But it's an interesting game. It's good, but it's weird that they're doing this. And I guess there must be some money behind it, because otherwise they'd have just pulled the plug like they do with every other struggling MMO or live service. It must be doing enough numbers somewhere where they're willing to take a gamble on this single player mode. So, I'll give it a whirl.
Then we had a little walk down memory lane with a little nostalgia hit for Lyle, and for me, actually, with Dynasty Warriors 3 Complete Edition Remastered.
Yeah, it's coming soon. One of the earliest entries in that series where it really became what Dynasty Warriors is today. But yeah, I don't know if I've actually played 3, so
really?
It might be my first time playing it. I basically got into Muso as a genre when, like, I really, really loved a couple of the Gundam Dynasty Warriors games on the PS3, and then moving forward on from there, it was basically just I didn't play them for about a decade, and then I joined the team here, and they were like sent to me, and I was like, all right, and this is my thing now.
I used to love Muso games. I used to play Dynasty Warriors in particular. There was one of them, and it might have been Dynasty Warriors 3. One of you might know, where it had this thing at the beginning where you would play the intro movie, and it would show all the characters fighting each other basically, but you could go in to like an editor and you could put any character in any position in the intro movie.
That's cool. Weird and cool.
And it was one of those things where, like, games after, I don't think Dynasty Warriors after it ever did it, and I was always like, that was so much fun. Like, it was weirdly cool to go in, and as you unlocked characters in the game, there was loads. You could go back in, and it was a weird, like, it was a time waster thing. It didn't achieve anything, but you could go back in and just, I'm going to put these 3 characters here and this character here, and then just watch the video again and watch different characters. interact in different ways. It was a weird thing, and I'm sure it was Dynasty Warriors 3 that did it, because it was Dynasty Warriors 3 that I played a lot and loved.
So
and then it hit a point with Dynasty Warriors where I think I reviewed a few of them in a row, and I was like, I'm bored of this now. Like, this doesn't
especially. I think in modern years, they sort of split between different series and franchises, or have done like full reimaginings and stuff like that. But there was certainly a time where it was like, it was sort of the same game over and over.
They were just palette swaps, weren't they?
5 games, yeah.
Yeah, because I played 3, and I actually, like, I don't like most of games. I'm quite happy to say that. But I did like Dynasty Warriors 3 when it came out, and I remember playing that with my friends. And then I remember playing 4, and it was basically the same. And then they used to do like sort of like halfway releases, so there'd be like 4X or something. That was it, 4 Empires. Yeah. And they would add like a strategy mode or something, but fundamentally it was the same game again. And then 5 was about that point again, like you said, where there was all those variations that were just the same game but with a different theme attached to it. Because there was Samurai Warriors as well, wasn't there?
There is Samurai Warriors. Yeah, the modern one of that was really good. But again, they've kind of. It's been a while since they did that. It's just the same thing over and over again. But I think for a lot of people, 3 was like the game that they remember as being this, like, I played this when I was younger and it was a lot of fun, and it was kind of the peak of this. And, you know, in some ways the peak of this genre exclusively because it just it was the only one and all the others were just the same as it. But, you know, it's cool that they're bringing it back as a full remake, and it's got the character from the new one in too, so you get to play as the new guy who isn't that interesting. He's sort of an amnesia guy, but he's the new guy who gets to be in the old game, and I guess that's good.
It's weird. I just remember Lu Bu.
Yeah, same.
Everyone remembers Lu Bu.
What did we next was No Rest for the Wicked, getting its PS5 debut with the full 1.0 release.
Yeah, I'm excited for this. I mean, I've played like 50 hours of it already, but I'm still excited that it's finally getting a 1.0.
What is it?
It's a Diablo-like, really.
Oh, okay.
But it's like a Souls-like Diablo-like. So it's an isometric RPG. It's gorgeous, by the way. It's by the Ori and the Blind Forest guys.
Yeah.
It's absolutely stunning. Like it's crazy good looking, this game. The color palette is just something else. But it's an isometric RPG. When it launched into early access, it was very limited in content. There wasn't an awful lot in it, and it was fucking way too punishing. Like, for me, I just dropped off it in the first, like, I did an early access impressions, and I was just like, this is just beating me senseless. And then, like, they've added loads to it. Like, they've added a chunk more game. They've added, like, there's now because now it's No Rest for the Wicked together, which sounds really clumsy, but basically it's a co-op mode. But it's got like a really good story. There's like full-on cutscenes. I mean, they were in there to begin with, but like they've toned down a lot of the difficulty. They've also added difficulty like modifiers, so you can go in and change certain things, and like there's difficulty settings now. It's a really good looter. It's basically a Diablo-like looter RPG, but it's got Soulsy mechanics. So like, there's you don't lose currency on death, but like the mechanics feel it's very based on stamina management. So it's got that same kind of feel to it, that Soulsy feel, where it's, you know, you're either parrying or it's got weird character design as well. Everyone's like kind of long. It's like weird to explain, but like everybody's just like got long, like their arms are really long and their faces are long. It's just this weird art style. But yeah, it's really good, and I'm really glad it's finally getting a 1.0 because it's been in early access for a couple of years now. And I'm looking forward to playing it on PlayStation.
Yeah, I remember it being one of those games that I was interested in because of the studio who made it, maybe first and foremost. But then when I found out it was in early access, I just squirreled it away in a corner of my brain and was like, at 1.0, I'll do something. So I guess I'll get to do something. I'll try that.
I think there's going to be people who haven't played it who will enjoy it when it comes to PlayStation. I think there's going to be people that will pick it up and give it a go, and I think they'll enjoy it. It's a really the combat's quite tight. It feels good. Like the exploration's really good, considering it's like isometric, so it's like a Diablo. So like, but like there's so many secrets stashed in the levels and hidden chests and little ways to go, and like there's things like where you can climb up like you won't even notice, but there's a ladder that you can climb up, and then you'll be on like a parapet. But then you can press a button and go behind the parapet, and that'll look like. And it's got a lot of stuff where they've done a lot with the space.
That's cool.
Is the main thing, and it's a really fun game to like explore, and I really like it. So I'm glad this has come into. I'm glad to get this 1.0.
I'm not sure how either of you feel about this next game. I don't have any nostalgia for the series, but Onimusha, Way of the Sword.
Yeah. I love a bit of Onimusha.
Yeah, I'm hoping you did, because I don't think I've even played an Onimusha before.
Yeah,
I played a little bit, but not much.
I think the first 3 games, which is most of them. I think there's only one more after that. Until now, I guess. But I think what I always thought was really cool about them was they just had combat that really worked for me. It was quite like, it's very much stand, block, attack, and it was very sort of rigid almost, but in a way that just felt really fun. It was the whole samurai theme, but with all the demons, was always kind of cool. I always remember you mainly just hold a button and absorb lots of orbs. I remember doing that a lot. But it's been fucking ages since I played it. Like, I must have played this when I was like the Onimusha games when I was like 15, So I've not really thought about or gone back to that series in my brain for, decades at this point. So it's one of those things where I'm excited to see what it's like now. I think it looks really cool. I think
it looks good. Yeah, it got my interest. But I've got no nostalgia for the series.
No.
Yeah.
If it is good, then that is a hell of a year for Capcom, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
Resident Evil, Pragmata.
Every year is a hell of a year for Capcom.
It does feel a bit like that, doesn't it?
Every year, Capcom just knock it out of the park with like at least 2 to 3 releases.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Silent Hill Townfall was next, which I thought looked pretty. It looked good. It looks good. It looked like my cup of tea to start with when they were sort of exploring the slightly creepy town. It was first person. You got the little radio thingy, but then it goes all like red and horrible and scary, and it's like maybe this looks a little bit too intense for me now.
Bit much for me now.
Yeah, it looked good though. I don't know if anyone else is going to play that.
Yeah,
I won't.
No, I like the idea of it being first person Silent Hill. That's a bit of a different take on it, Like, I don't know. I'll see what I'd like.
And
to
Scottish Silent Hill.
That's a bit odd. That's a bit. That feels. It all. This one is one that feels really odd to me. Like, it felt odd to me when they revealed it a little bit. Like, kind of like when they sort of revealed Resident Evil 7, and it was like it's gone first person, and then it was like, and this feels like that where they've gone. Like we can't reboot Silent Hill, but let's like try a different angle, which I commend them for. But like, Silent Hill had a lot of magic once, like in the 90s when I was young, and I still played horror games. I played like first 4 Silent Hills before everything started to look a bit too photoreal in horror games, and I lost.
That was the end of that.
Yeah, and I struggled to do it anymore. But like I loved Silent Hill, like the mythology of it all, the like just the inherent weirdness, and it wasn't just all about like, it was very psychological horror. It wasn't just jump scares, and like there was a lot in it. Like Silent Hill 2 is still probably one of the best examples of like psychological horror in a video game. Like it's sort of like if there was no Silent Hill 2, there'd be no Alan Wake, and it's very much like a really influential thing. And this doesn't feel to me like Silent Hill F when that was released, and that came out last year. Was it last year or this year? Silent Hill F.
Last year.
Yeah. I mean, that looked and felt like a Silent Hill, if you know what I mean. Like straight away. This didn't, like Townfall didn't feel Silent Hilly. It felt like a first-person horror game, but then I'm not the target audience, so I don't know. I know that I know Adam and I know Chris White are quite excited for this.
Yeah, I'm interested, but I think the last 2 Silent Hills. Well, actually, I didn't play F. I forgot I didn't play F, but it sounded like F wasn't for me. And I thought the remake of 2 sort of lost a bit of the magic for what I was looking for, really. So like it's an interesting one in that this looks quite different, and I'm like, well, maybe that means that this will be the one that like brings me back in. You know, like I certainly like a lot of first person horror games, so I'm willing to give it a go. But I don't know. Yeah, it's different. It's different for Silent Hill, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Like, I think Silent Hill's probably out of all the horror series, like the big ones, that is the one that is just a little bit too much for me. Like, I've tried Silent Hill 2, I've tried Silent Hill F. Silent Hill F frustrated me more than scared me, to be fair. But 2 particularly, I thought was just, that was just a little bit too much. And that trailer yesterday was pretty fucking scary at times. The next game is Ace Combat 8, Wings of Thieves, which I've never played any of those games before.
Yeah,
I thought that trailer was really good.
Ace Combat's good. Ace Combat 7 was really good. Like, it's a good series. It's mental. Like, you don't realize. It just looks like even just looking at the box art. I say box art. Who has a box anymore? But like looking at like the promo art and stuff, it just looks like a dogfighting game. And then you play it, and it's set in this weird like alternate version of like Earth, and it's not like alternate history. It's just not Earth.
It's just not the same at all. No,
very much.
Metal Gear Solid, that trailer,
kind
like
of.
the way they talk and everything.
Yeah, it's got that kind of, and it's just kind of like we're in like this weird like place that's a little bit like perpetually like Asia versus America type. I don't know, it's weird, but it's got its own universe, and I'm fucked if I can remember the story or the lore of Ace Combat. But I do know that they have just brilliant dogfight mechanics. Like, they're really good fun, really good dogfighting games. They've always been good.
And yeah, the fact they have that story side is sort of icing on the cake.
They're very story heavy.
Yeah, like quite a few of them have like, I seem to recall there being like branching paths and different endings and like decisions and shit like that.
Yeah, this sounds great. I'm going to play 7 because this sounds like
Ace Combat 7 is really fun. Like, they are story heavy. Like, you do have to, and it is kind of that like. It's kind of a little bit like overwrought, like melodrama-y kind of like anime storyline. It's like, it's a bit of that. Like, everybody's a hero.
That's great.
But they're really fun, and they're kind of really unapologetically what they are. And it just happens that they have really, really strong combat mechanics at the same time. So.
The next trailer had Saber's logo at the start, and I got quite excited.
Yeah, so did I.
DLC for like Busbound, or it might have been like DLC for Docked or New Roadcraft or something. But it was
all your favorites.
One of those work sims that I love so much. But it was Stuntman Hollywood.
This was weird to me because I was like, I kind of want. So the little boy in me wants to play this. Right, because there's like a fucking DeLorean. You can drive the DeLorean. There are all these like famous movie cars. It's got some licensing from somewhere where it's got some like really good replicas. But then also it's like it's just like it's Stuntman. So it's going to be fun and silly and over the top. And the cars are all just going to be skins. And like, I don't know. It's not one that I would put money on and buy to play.
I mainly remember playing Stuntman when I was younger and having very specific objectives that I couldn't do and just sort of getting annoyed and playing something else. Like, oh, hit this ramp at this angle and do this. It's like, I haven't done it about 10 times. Maybe I'll just play something else.
But like,
sure, like maybe it'll be, maybe this is gonna be different. Who knows?
I mean, it looks good. It looks fun.
It looks good,
and it looks like something that's going to be really tongue in cheek.
And it's fucking weird that it exists.
Yeah, it is weird.
It's Saber, so it should be good. I think everything they put out is good, to be honest. So I'd be surprised if this isn't.
Cool.
Then it was Ill, the Mundfish game, which was a bizarre trailer, but then I guess that, given the developer, that maybe makes sense.
This is a weird one, Ill, because this is another game that's a bit like Phantom Zero in that every time they show more of it, it looks slightly less polished than it did when they. So you go back and look at the Ill reveal stuff, and it looks like something. It looks like it's on like PlayStation 9. Do you know what I mean? It's like it just like the the reflections and the detail and the animation and the movements. I mean, it was fucking just mental how good it looked. And every time they release like more footage, it looks really good. Don't get me wrong, it still looks really good. But it feels like the more they actually make it a game rather than just like here's a showcase of what you're going to be like, the more they introduce mechanics and they have to toggle with like really annoying things like frame rate and fucking stuff like that, it gets that a little bit less fancy looking. But this is just another one that I'm just never going to ever touch or play. Like it's just another gross out first person.
Yeah, it looks pretty fucking horrendous, doesn't it? Really,
Yeah.
Violent horror.
I didn't know what to write about it when I was doing it. I was like, I don't understand what's happening. I don't know how I'm supposed to.
I don't know why it's called Ill. I don't know what the storyline is. I don't.
It was in like a hospital, right? People
I think it's I think it is like an asylum or something.
Yeah, because it's always an asylum or something.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's not for me, and I don't want to like people. There are people that are super excited for this.
I hope it's good. I like horror shit. But...
Yeah, I hope it's good. But yes, I'm never going to play that
one. On the home stretch now, just a few more games. So this next one, I don't think anyone's that interested in and probably won't play. It's Control Resonant.
Oh yeah,
yeah. No point even talking about that one, right?
Yeah, it's only like my third most anticipated game of 2026.
Oh, that's nothing.
I tell you what, though, this is a weird one because Control is one of my favorite games. So I feel like I've said that loads tonight. One of my favorite games, but Control is.
You've got about 10 of them.
Yeah, I have. I've got a top 20, 30, 40. We've been gaming for like a long time. We've had this
in a while.
But like, no, Control is excellent. I really liked it, and I really like the universe. I really like the Alan Wake-verse. But the thing about Control that I really liked was Jessie Faden. Like, I really like the character. I like the way her powers unlock. I like the way the game progresses. The structure of it is flawless to me. Like, I loved that game. And it was a game that I like. It was one of my rare platinums. I'm gonna just go. I want to rinse it. Like, I played it a lot. I did all the DLC all the way through. And I really liked it. And so I'm excited to go back to the universe. But while Jessie's in the trailer, it's not Jessie this time. So you're Dylan Faden, who was like Jessie's brother, who the first game was basically you. The reason Jessie went to the oldest house and infiltrated the FBC in the first place was to find her brother who'd been not in prison, but he's basically an anomalous object, which means he's in the panopticon at the FBC and he's under constant observation. He's very dangerous, but you don't really know why he's very dangerous until he sort of wakes up towards the end of Control and you find out that why he's so dangerous. But making him the protagonist of this is like, when I found out that's what they were doing, it felt weird because I was just like, I would play more Jessie. Like, I would like continue exploring her story, and I guess you will, but this isn't set in the oldest house. I don't think this looks like it's more of an open world. It almost looks like an open world superhero.
It looks so like, I didn't play that much Control, but it looks like it couldn't really be much more different, you know?
Yeah, because Control is very much you're in a lot of it's a very weird game, and yeah, you're in the FBC building, but it's a building that is designed around the fact that everything's anomalous. So sometimes you'll just go in, like, there's like a whole room that's just a massive maze inside an ashtray. Like, it's got that SCP nonsense, like craziness that I fucking live for, baked in. And I don't know what they're going to lose doing this way. Like, I feel like it. Like, a lot of what I loved about Control was the deeper mystery of it, was watching the videos, like Professor Darling or Dr. Darling doing his like breakdowns of the tests and the things he was doing to Dylan and Jessie and like the other anomaly. Like, it's all that stuff was so interesting, and it had that real like Alan Wake. Like, every time Alan Wake goes slightly off course, and you get a view of like the Night Springs shit, and it was just like like all that stuff I really love. And I think this looks like, I mean, I think it will be great. I trust Remedy implicitly at this point. I don't believe Remedy are capable of doing something bad, but it is a completely different direction, and I don't want it to lose what I loved about it, kind of selfishly, I guess. But the elements I loved about Control were probably stuff that other people, you know, probably put 4th or 5th on the list. So, but I don't really like Dylan's look in this. Like I said it before, there's just something weirdly like kind of trailer trashy about the, like, I don't like the fucking rat's tail and the little beard, and it's just very weird how they've designed him. He kind of looks like the character who's the brother of someone in a film that gets like shot to give the protagonist motivation.
Well, in the thumbnail for the video, I was just looking at it to see what he looks like. I think he looks a little bit like Sean Bean, when, you know, that meme of him with the little bit of hair that sticks off the side, and that he looks like that.
Yeah, I don't know. The design was a bit odd. Like, it was a bit off-putting when I saw him, and I don't know why. I really don't know why. And I think maybe it's just that I love Jesse.
I'll skim past Marathon Nightfall update. I don't think anyone's really got much to say about Marathon.
There's going to be an update.
I tell you what, I did find quite interesting that so like I mentioned last week about Destiny's closing.
Oh yeah.
Not closing. There's the last content update is coming next week. I reinstalled it ready because I want to be there for like. And there's a couple of content creators, one in particular called Aztec Cross, who's like a major Destiny content creator. He's like one of the top ones. And he's very upset that this is happening. And he's been like getting his community, and he's got like something like 108,000 signatures or something on some like form, and he's basically said, I'm not fucking touching Marathon until they announce Destiny 3. And he was like quite a big Marathon creator because of Bungie. And he's basically said, I'm not touching Marathon again. And he like uninstalled it on stream. And so he's like, I'm not playing this game until again. He's like being really like quite knowingly childish about it, but he's being really indignant that he wants Destiny 3 to be announced. And so he basically so I don't know if you watched the chat of the State of Play at all. I don't know if you clicked on the chat on YouTube. If you watched the chat,
no, every
other message was Destiny 3. And he basically whipped up people to say, like, I want you to bombard Sony, because his thing is like, show Sony how much we want Destiny 3. And I found it amusing because I opened the chat a couple of times and it was just Destiny. And like some people were just doing a wall of text that was just Destiny 3. And then of course the Marathon trailer came on. Everybody was like, fucking Destiny 3 died.
It's time
for this.
to go.
Yeah.
And it's just right, and I kind of think I think this is not of Bungie's doing. Right, I don't believe. I think Sony are in control here. Sony wanted a golden calf, and it didn't happen. I think what will happen is I think Sony will cut Bungie loose, and then someone like Tencent will back a Destiny 3. I do believe we'll get a Destiny 3. I think there's too much interest and too many stories to tell in the universe to not get one. It just won't be under Sony. But I think you'll get. I mean, because Tencent run the mobile game. I think the Destiny mobile game that does really well. So I just wanted to. Yeah, it was funny because I was waiting for, and when they put Marathon on, it was just like it's just weird how Marathon's not even a bad game. I'm not an extraction shooter fan, but I don't really like Marathon. It's not my cup of tea. I don't like extraction shooters, but this game is getting such a fucking drubbing now, and it's just like it shouldn't be funny. Because the developers are doing the best they can with what they're allowed to work on. Like they can't just the developers can't just say "fuck you, Sony." We're making Destiny 3 quietly, like on our lunch breaks. You know what I mean? They've got to do what they've got to do, and I do feel bad for Bungie in a way, but then it's kind of also their own fault. So I don't know. But anyway, Marathon. Carry on.
RuneScape, Dragon Wilds, that was coming to PS Plus day one later this year. I don't know what it is, but it looked quite nice.
It's a RuneScape MMO survival game.
It was quite a pretty game, I thought.
It does look pretty. The problem with it is there's 456,000 of them on Steam, and they're all the same. And they're all the same. and you could just save yourself the bother by just installing Enshrouded and playing that, and then you don't have to play any of the others because that's the best one. And this will have some like following because of obviously it's RuneScape, and RuneScape has still got quite a big name.
Weirdly.
Yeah, it is strange, to be fair.
Yeah, but I mean, I've got RuneScape. I've got like tabletop games of RuneScape. Do you know what I mean? Like
Of course you do.
Yeah, like RuneScape. But I sort of clicked off this one almost immediately. I was just like, I don't get excited for new MMO announcements. I just can't.
No.
I've lost all interest. I spent I spent like several years living in Azeroth and then like once I was done with World of Warcraft, there's not been an MMO that's got me like that ever since. So I just don't get excited about them. I haven't got time. It's a second life. It's
Then we had what is probably the biggest announcement of the show. PsyOps, the Mindgate conspiracy, is coming to the PlayStation Plus Classics catalog in July.
He's so happy about this.
I tried to buy that the other day because I don't know what I don't play old games. Most old games are shit now. Like, I don't care what anyone says, they are shit, and that's why they all need to be remade.
It's true. I agree with you there. I'm not a retro. I'm not a nostalgia.
but it's fine. I'll let you go.
I'm not a nostalgia nor either. So,
but yeah, this is one that I just can't find anywhere. I remember that PsyOps, the Mindgate conspiracy, and Second Sight came out at the same time, and I had both.
Second Sight was so good.
But I bought Second Sight on Steam when it was on sale for like $1.99, and it's got no controller support, and I play on a handheld PC, so it was of no use to me. And then I read that the good old games version had controller support, so I waited for that to go on sale and spent another $1.99 on that version, which I also can't get to work. So if they just remade these fucking games, then people could play them.
Yeah. My first published written article in a magazine was about Second Sight.
Oh, that was a classic.
Yeah.
That was such a good game.
Many moons ago.
And then my actual game of the show was Until Dawn 2, which was next, which I thought was because I was only half watching it because I was writing up at the same time, and it was bizarre because it said Firesprite at the start, and I couldn't remember who they were, but I was looking at this and it was like this. It's all nice and bright and colourful, and they're having fun on an island, but something's clearly going to go wrong.
That's what I was waiting for. I was waiting.
The music is horrible.
Yeah, it had this like really light-hearted song, and everybody's like beautiful and in love, and then it had like what's his name from Stranger Things in it.
Yeah, and as soon as I saw the choice, there was a choice at one point, and that was when it was obvious, and then it was even more obvious when Peter Stormare showed up as Dr. Hill at the end.
Because it was like jump alone or push him, and then she pushed him and he hit the rocks underneath.
That'll be a red herring. I guarantee if you don't push him, he'll slip.
Do the opposite.
Yeah, he'll die anyway, won't he? But yeah, like it was.
I can't wait for that. I love those games. I think I played a chunk of Until Dawn, but I've never, like we said it last week, I think, or a couple of weeks ago when we were talking about 80/20. I don't know why I don't play these, because these aren't scary like horror games. Scary like usually.
No. These are not at all.
They're a bit different, and because I said I watched my daughter play The Quarry, and
they're tense at times. Sometimes there's a bit of tension where like especially on Until Dawn, because you had to hold the controller still, otherwise the monster would sense you, and that was really difficult with the that
just never worked. You just died.
You had to put the controller down on the arm of the sofa or something. But I cannot wait for this. I thought it looked really good. Like I wouldn't have known it wasn't Supermassive had I not seen the logo at the start.
That looked really slick.
And then we had 20 minutes of God of War Laufey. Which
I can't first of all, right, I don't give a shit that it's a woman protagonist. I don't fucking care. If
I'm not a bell end, is basically what you're saying. Yeah.
If you've really got your balls in your hand because they've let a woman it's a spin-off. We're gonna get a Kratos game. We're gonna have more Atreus, I'm sure, at some point. This is a spin-off. This is God of War something. It's set concurrently with the last games. It's a spin-off. And Deborah Ann Woll is fucking amazing. So shut the fuck up, basically. If it's really upset you that much, I don't get it. And but on the other hand, I was really fucking bored halfway through that gameplay reveal.
I didn't need to watch the full intro of a game in any it made me be annoyed that I'll have to do this again in however long it is.
I felt like there was that boss fight thing at the end of it, and I kind of felt like if you'd just shown us a trailer and then ended with this is what the boss fight, so you can see what the combat is. I'm not keen on the whole Disney mascot shit. Like that annoys me in any game or anything. But where you like, she meets like the cube, and I know it's like a meta funny joke because Deborah Ann Wold plays a lot of D&D, and it's like a gelatinous cube, and it's your companion, and it's like, and like I read earlier on because I've been seeing the discourse all day that like Laufey in the Legends has a sentient sword, so that like makes sense. But when like the cube is like, oh, my name's Frank, like I remembered, oh yeah, this is their fucking God of War universe, isn't it? And this is what fucking annoyed me about the last two games, was that Kratos is all like boy, and like everybody's, and then you like the cast of supporting characters all just sound like they've come from like The Departed or something, you know, like everybody, like Odin is basically a mob boss. Do you know what I mean? That fucking really, and it really took me out of it. Like every time I played it, and you got Odin coming in, like, let me make you a deal, you're not gonna be able to. It's like, why do you talk like that? Why do you sound like Robert De Niro? What the fuck is? Where am I? And like, and it always annoyed me. And then like this did that again, and I was like, I don't know if I want to listen to a wisecracking cube for 25 hours or not.
But the game looked like
the game looks really good.
The combat was like way faster than God of War combat has been recently. You know, like there was a lot of like speedy shit going on. It was definitely it was showing off you are not Kratos here. Just so you need.
It was
to
quite
be more
DMC. I thought,
yeah,
like it's very like it's a lot of aerial stuff. She's double jumping. Like it looks fast. The character looks like, I mean, she looks really powerful. Like and she's like, it doesn't look like it's going to lose anything.
No.
From what made like the recent games really good, because I did like them. I had my problems with some of the storyline, but I liked both games a lot. Like they're really well made. They're absolutely gorgeous. The combat I love, like every minute of it. I do like the character of Kratos, but he's not exactly the sort of character that you pine for when he's not there. I mean, do you know what I mean? He's just he can rip a tree in half.
It's one line more than anything.
Yeah,
it's just boy.
Yeah, he just says boy a lot, and then you know. But then when you did get like the emotional stuff towards the back end, particularly of like Ragnarok, it was good because you got to see a different side of Kratos. So you had like a bit more of a character arc. But they're not going to do this. This isn't going to be bad. They're not going to cock this up. This is going to be a very good game. And some people will have issues with certain aspects, maybe. But we saw like a 20-minute snippet of. It was too much for a reveal, but we saw a 20-minute block of the game. It's really hard to tell what the full game is going to be like. I mean, the combat looked really fun. It looks gorgeous. Like it looks really.
They'll have a good story as well. Like they all like. I'm not the biggest fan of the series, but I did really like God of War 2018, and it was mainly for the story more than the combat.
The story is good.
It looks like they're going down the shared mythological universe type thing with the.
Well, this is so she's in. Cool. So where she is the Everwen, which is like it's an afterlife for gods. So presumably, Kratos put half of them there. So I don't know whether that's going to.
Oh, that'd be cool.
It would be interesting if there was some gods from previous like God of War games that pop up here that have got there. I mean, Odin, like, and other gods that Kratos has like polished off might pop up. It could be interesting. It could be really interesting. And I think it's not going to be bad.
No, it's not going to be bad. It's just it's hard to come out of watching 20 whole minutes of a game.
Yeah.
When you didn't really want to see that much of it all at once to like be super duper hyped, but like it's not gonna be bad. So
when they said here's 20 minutes, and I was like, fucking hell, 20 minutes, and I was like, okay, and then like I was like, oh, this is good. Okay, we're talking a bit more. Oh, we'll do a bit more talking. Okay, yeah, no, this is interesting. And then like after a while, I was like, could you fucking kill something, please? Because this is, and then like the combat happened, and I was like, oh, this is quite good. And then it carried on, and I was like, okay, like I get it, lads. Like I've got the gist.
5 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, I've got the gist now. Back it up, and then I ended up because I'd had a gap, like I'd had a break, and so when I came and watched the second half of the show, I was like behind the live stream. So I just found myself like double tapping until it got to something interesting. And then at a certain point when that boss fight started, I was like, yeah, I'm done now. I'm going to bed. It's late.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you did literally just say I'm going to bed in our
was
chat, and then that was the last we heard of you.
Yeah, I'm done. But yeah,
that was it. I mean, it was a good show. I think, like I said, I agree. It was a bit of a dampener on the end. I think it doesn't matter what game they showed at the end. It's just 20 minutes of uncut. Like, it's not even jumping into like direct, developer commentary or anything. It's just a lot. But it was a good show overall, I thought. And I thought it was good. I thought
it had. I didn't have. There was nothing in it that I was like there was no. It wasn't. There wasn't a single thing where I was like, this looks bad. There was some stuff I was like, that's not for me. But there was nothing where I was like, this doesn't look interesting, or this isn't. This doesn't like it. It was. I thought it was a really good showcase, and I thought it was a good hype vehicle for what's coming.
Yeah, I think it was. It felt like it was a good showcase for a lot of people. Like, it felt very, very broad in its like people are going to like these big budget flashy games. It was a showcase I came out of and was like, the rest of the team are going to really fucking like this. And it's not that I didn't like it, but I was like, these are not the games that would get me excited necessarily. I'm sure they'll all be fucking good, but like, I didn't need hyping on them. But like, it's hard to argue with the, overall quality. And I'm sure I'll enjoy playing, probably most of them, because let's face it, there wasn't really a bad one in the bunch in terms of, the ones that stand out, like you say. So yeah,
I don't know what I'm going to do.
Lack of weird shit, but
yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do for like August, September, October this year, because this was like this was like one showcase, and we already know there's a ton of other stuff that we didn't see it. Like Sony's, we've got Xbox to go. Ubisoft have got one. I presume Capcom will have an event of some sort.
Nintendo haven't talked about anything half the year.
Yeah, so the big ones are going to have their. I mean, Xbox. When's the Xbox one? That's coming
Sunday.
Yeah, I mean that's where you'll get your extended look at stuff like Call of Duty and things. I'm hoping that we get a look at. I'm hoping Lords of the Fallen 2 gets dated, and I've got a feeling that if it does, that'll be at the Xbox. That might be at the Xbox One. So yeah, I'm looking forward to what's coming. But the back end of the year is now heavily loaded. Like, I mean, we haven't, like I said earlier on, there's still things waiting in the wings like Tides of Annihilation and Beast of Reincarnation. These are the games that we know are coming and don't have dates, and like Duskbloods still doesn't have a date on Switch 2, and like back end of the year is already fat, and now it's just filling up. And I'm just looking at September thinking, I need like 9 weeks in September.
Yeah, I don't know how we're going to split the games either, because there's not as many for me, so I'm going to have to play some of these really big budget games that I'm not that arsed about, and I'm like, well, I guess someone's got to do it.
Someone's got to do it. Yeah, because there's like, I mean, even things like Wolverine, which I mean, Chris White's jumping up and down for that. But then there's like, I mean, Control is the same month, and then there's like Phantom Blade Zero is supposed to be in September, and like
Halloween. Those two on the same day.
Yeah, there's like 6 AAAs I think right now in September, and then you've got like as many of that as that in October already, and then. I mean, November. I mean, November. There's only one game, which is why everything's coming out in like September and October, because no one's touching anything in November.
Devolver said they're releasing a game on the same day as GTA.
Well,
so
the thing is, this is Devolver, so it's like they haven't given much of a fuck for years.
Yeah,
and it'll probably sell. It'll probably sell really well anyway because it's Devolver, but like. Yeah, like we've literally seen games that have just been like, no, we're just delaying it. We're not coming out on this. We're not coming out in November, so it will just be out in February now. It's like fair enough. Give everyone 3 months to play Grand Theft Auto 6 and then release your game. So it's interesting. But yeah, we'll end it there. It's been quite a long one, and we've got a bonus pod to go and look at, which is also going to be Sony themed, I believe. Not we're having a Sony loving. We'll do the same with Xbox. Don't worry, we're equal opportunities hype machines here. And we've got to go do the bonus pod. We need the Pokemon update now. Lyle's back, so we need to know what's going on.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Uh-oh. That tells you all you need to know. So, but yeah, that's a podcast. So yeah, we're going to jump over now, and we're going to go and do the bonus pod. So this is out. I don't know what day this comes out now. Does Adam still put this out on a Monday? I think this lands on a Monday. And the bonus pod definitely still lands on a Wednesday for Patreons. So if you are a Patreon, you'll get that one on Wednesday. If you're not a Patreon, I don't know.
We still love you, but we could love you more.
Yeah, we love you a bit. We don't love you long time. So you have to join the Patreon and give us money for that. That sounds really bad. Anyway, I'm going to end it there, and we're going to go and do a bonus pod, and I've got to shut this door behind me that's banging. It's been doing my head in for about 45 minutes. So we'll see you next week. I've been Mick, he's been Kieran, and he's been Lyle, and you guys have been lovely. Bye.